the program says, what about cleaning up the consonants in one day? All right, so let me show you what I mean by that so it makes sense that I'm not crazy here, okay? Now, what I found is two students who can read one-syllable words, in almost every case, know the consonants. And they have an idea of most of the vowels. But they put us on it. So here's a typical start to. Ba, ka, da, fa, ga, la, ma. Okay, that's a typical start to. So what I do initially is I take my fingers like a scissors, which I'll show you when I come back on the screen, and cut off the in front of my mouth. I'll act like I'm cutting off an and say, let's cut off the And if they still go pa, ka, da, I then remove the board and do these sounds orally. So I remove the board. My premise is this: they've been taught incorrectly. Now, often, I'll be honest, I've taught 4,000 teachers, and majority of teachers don't know their sounds, and they put us on things. That's just fact. It's partly, it's not taught in college. And often, majority of teachers who teach phonics don't know the full code or how to teach diphthongs or certain vowel teams or certain spelling rules, etc. So they have a limited view that I see. So often these kids are just doing what they were taught, but, duh. So what I do is I remove the board. Now this was a case I did with the severest problem kid. Everything was ba, ka, da, fa. And I thought, you know, this is problematic. So I moved the board and I did this. And just do it with me at home. D, d, g, g, j, j, k, k, o, m, r. Notice r, your lips are puckered, like red. You're not doing a smile, because that's ER, IR, and UR. It's puckered lips. That's when they have trouble with. My found students have trouble with R, L, X, and Y. Okay. S, t, t, v, v. Don't cut that off too soon or you'll get va. It's v. It continues. Now with what we put a slight on it so that they can hear the sound. Actually, the W sets your mouth for the vowel, but I found it impractical when we were working with sound. So it's a slight yeah, z. Okay. This kid did it all perfectly. By the way, in almost every case with the kids that were start twos, I found I could do that and they could do it cleanly, okay? So then what I do is I go back to the board. Do you see that, Steve?
Yes, you're up on the board.
Okay. I go back to the board and I do what's called spelling and reading sounds. So in spelling, I'm saying the sound and they'll show me how it's spelled. So what I'm going to do is go back and reattach that. So I'll first go with each sound and go b, b, k, k, d, d, f, f. Notice I put these two together. We get two birds with one stone. G, g, j, k. So I'll go back and clean them up. There's two of them here. They're both saying. I clean those sounds up. This is before I actually start my lesson. Okay, then I will do spell and read sound. So spelling, I'm going to say the sound and they'll find it. Now, if they're like most kids, they're going to have trouble with R, L, X, and Y. So I'll do more than that. So I'll go and they'll go x, yeah, d, d, b, b, k, k, g, g, ol, r, r, x, x, y, y. So we'll quickly do that. Then I move to reading where I point and they read the sound. So the child would quickly go f, g, j, k, etc. They read the sounds, and then I'll point to the ones they had trouble with. Okay. Now, this is in Bloom's taxonomy at the level of information, where we're getting the information into the child. This is what flashcards do, but I think, number one, flashcards bore kids to death. This is very active and doesn't. But also flashcards have the name and the keyword, A, apple, et cetera, which are interference systems. So this at the information level replaces the flashcards. However, this would not work by itself. I must also include these letters with the vowels in phonemic awareness activities. And phonemic awareness activities are hitting upper level of Bloom's. They're hitting synthesis and analysis, and that's a different part of the brain. So I'm going to come back to this later on to show, after I've cleaned them up, what I do to make them stick. Okay, so this is a start to. I clean up the consonants, then I'll clean up the vowels. So with the vowels, I'll first just check them. And I've had kids go, period. Good. I'll have kids go, that's a common mistake, oo, and then I have to clean them up. So I'll clean them up by saying them, and then I will have them try it. And if they quickly clean them up, I'll then do spell and read. If not, I will go to the movements.